Hey everybody, it's Danny. Welcome back to Staring Down the Darkness. I've got a special guest today.
Yep.
It's my friend Stan.
What's
from
up?
The Albert Family Channel. If you have not yet gone to the Albert Family Channel and checked them out, you got to do that. I mean, they got great advice. They go through skits, really funny skits. It's a lot of fun. It's family friendly. So check them out. Subscribe to their channel because they're awesome. Stan's going to ask me a few questions now about depression and anxiety and that type of thing, some things that he would like to know, and hopefully it'll inform you guys too. So Stan, what do you want to know?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Danny. So then I actually want to ask you a couple of questions just to see how you deal with depression throughout your day.
Okay.
One of the biggest things that I wanted to know is, like, what are some of the signs that you know that you can see on somebody that you know they're going through depression or suffering from depression?
That's a good question. It's tough for some people. I'm not as good at hiding it as I used to be, but a lot of people have gotten really good at masking the symptoms. There's high functioning depression to where people can go and smile and go through their day and you'll never know that they were suffering from depression. You would never see a sign. And that's hard. But if you know the person, you can see subtle changes in their behavior. Maybe they don't have as much energy as they do usually. Maybe they look like me and they look like they hadn't slept in 7 days. Maybe they don't laugh as much as they used to. Something like that. You can usually tell just little subtle things if you're around them enough and you know how they usually are, and then you can see how they are now. You can kind of see, well, maybe they don't feel well, or maybe they're having a little slide back into a depressive state. But it's, like I said, with some folks, we're good at masking it, and a lot of us are really used to hiding the fact that we have a mental illness because there's such a stigma attached to it that we don't want people to know. So, you have famous people, comedians like Robin Williams. You would never have known that guy was as depressed as he was because he was, always happy, always smiling, always joking. He was just, in high gear all the time. And I can almost bet you when he got home and he got behind closed doors by himself, it was a different story, probably. He probably let all that wind out and was just exhausted. And so, if you're looking for signs, it's hard to tell if you don't know the person. If you do, then maybe you'll be able to tell something.
Okay, that's pretty cool, Danny. Like, one of the questions I also want to ask you is, how early of an age did you know, or did you, when you discovered that you was suffering from depression?
Well, you got to remember, I'm an old man.
Danny, you're never old.
You're only as old as you feel,
Yes,
so I should be dead by now. So, honestly, they didn't call it depression back then. They called it, anything from feeling sorry for yourself to, to just having a bad day, to being grumpy, that kind of thing. I'll tell you my first memory of it, when I was about 5 years old. Back in the day, they had comic books. Now, I've got two older sisters. When I was 5, my oldest sister was probably high school age. She was around high school. And they used to have these comic books that were not like superhero comic books, but they were teen romance comic books. And the teen romance comic books were what all the girls had back then because they liked all that drama and stuff like that, So back then, they would read about the boys they liked and all these love stories and that kind of thing. Well, I saw in my house a comic book, and the cover of the comic book had a girl who looked a lot like my oldest sister sitting down by herself and crying. And I saw that, and I thought about my oldest sister being sad. And I started feeling sad. And I cried for about 2 days straight. And my parents, they were always asking me, what's the matter? What's the matter? Do you not feel good? Do you hurt? Do you need to go to the doctor? What's going on? And I wouldn't tell them. I was embarrassed to tell them. Even at 5 years old, I knew that was silly. But I cried for about 2 days straight, and I remember telling my middle sister finally after about 2 days, and she was like, all of this because of a comic book? You know, what's the matter with you? And then as my life went on, there was some traumatic events that happened that increased my level of depression, and it would wane and come back and forth. As I got to be a teenager, I would go out with friends. As I got older and got to drinking age, we would self-medicate. We would go out and party and have fun. And so a lot of times I would feel like my sadness was just, I was hungover, I was too tired, I'd partied too much, whatever. And so, it didn't really come as deep as it is now until after I was married and had kids.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What type of advice can you give the viewers out there who are struggling and going through depression, but they don't feel like they have a voice? They don't feel like they have somebody to turn to. They kind of feel like they're enclosed.
Well, it's a very personal disease. You feel it, and you feel like you're the only one that feels it. And even if somebody tells you you're not alone, which is what I tell people all the time, a lot of times our reaction to that would be, what do you mean I'm not alone? I feel alone even when I got 1,000 people around me. And that's very true. You can. You can be in a arena full of people and feel like you're the only one there and be lonely. What I would say is, don't push people away, because we are the kind of people who will. We don't want to subject other people to the way we feel. We don't want it to rub off on anybody else. So we push people away. We're also used to being told, oh, it's all it's all just, you're having a bad day, or, you don't have depression, it's not that big a deal, you're going through a rough spot, you'll be fine. They don't understand what that does to us. It just basically makes us say, okay, I can't talk to this person anymore, because they'll never get it. But don't push people away that are trying. If you have friends, family, loved ones that know you have depression, and they're trying to get behind that wall and trying to get in there and help you, you may not feel like it'll do any good at all, but at least don't push them away. Accept whatever you can get, because it may not feel like much at the time, but every little bit will help. And when somebody says, you're not alone, I'm here, that's not the time to say, no, you're not, you don't know what I'm feeling, go away. That's the time to say, thank you, I don't really feel like this is going to help much, but I'm willing to try, and I appreciate you reaching out. Now, there's going to be times you want to be by yourself. You can't deal with people. I get it. But you have to at least try to keep your head up and keep fighting it. It's when you just let it go and feel like nothing's going to get better, the hopelessness becomes overwhelming, and you feel like that's it, that's when you can spiral down to a point where it takes a long time to get out. You've got to keep fighting to get to the top of the mountain again. You got to keep fighting, keep your head up above that water line and try to to maintain. Things do get better. You don't ever feel at your lowest point all the time. It comes and goes, and there are days that aren't so bad. There are days that are absolutely horrible, and there are days that are in between. And you've got to just keep fighting for the days that are better. And the days that are better hopefully will last longer if you build a support system and you can have people that you really can talk to and that do try to understand what you're going through.
Okay, Danny. One last question for you, and I'll let you go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay.
So what type of message are you trying to send to the viewers out there about depression?
First thing I'm trying to do is, number one, with people who suffer like I do, just let people know, just let you know you matter. That's the big thing. You matter, and your place in this world matters, and the world would be emptier if you weren't here. So you need to keep fighting, because there's enough darkness in the world. We need light, and every light bulb makes a difference. So, keep fighting, keep doing whatever you can do to get yourself up and to keep going. You're not alone. As alone as you feel, as alone as I feel, you're not alone, and you do matter for the people that suffer. For the people that don't suffer from it or don't understand it or have loved ones that suffer from it, try to understand and be empathetic to what they're going through. You will not know how they feel, and you may not understand how they feel, but they're going through something that is not just made up. It's something that is real. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if it's scientific chemical imbalance or if it's situational depression or whatever you want to call it. That doesn't matter. Names don't matter. What matters is how we feel and what happens to us when it hits us. And we need you to be empathetic and understand that and try your best to reach us when we're down there. Even if we push you away, don't give up, because we will push you away and we will tell you to leave us alone. We need support from people who understand and love us. And don't try to tell us it's all in our head. Don't try to tell us to cheer up or pull ourselves up from our bootstraps or whatever you want to say. Don't tell us to snap out of it. I got that a lot when I was growing up. Just snap out of it. Can't you just cheer up? Don't say things like that. Don't help. Say, what can I do? What do you need me to do right now that will help you? And if we don't know, just sit there and be with us. And sometimes that's all it takes, to know that somebody is there. There's a life raft right there we can grab a hold of if we need to. And everybody wants to know that they have that, at least one person that's that life raft you can grab a hold of. So keep your heads up, keep fighting, encourage the people that are fighting. That's my message.
Oh, cool. We'll go ahead and end it right there.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you being here, helping me out with some of these questions. And again, the Albert Family Channel. That is one of the best cures for depression you'll ever see, is seeing this man do his skits. It's real good stuff. Plus, it's good family advice and it's good family-friendly fun. And again, guys, there's a subscribe button down there. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. There's a bell. What do you do if you find it, Stan?
You gotta hit it.
You gotta hit it. You hit it, you'll get future notifications of videos. Mm-hmm. And for now, I would like to take it off to Stan and let him sign it off the way he signs off his channel.
Oh man, you gonna give it to me?
I'm gonna give it to you. Sign us
well,
off,
guys, this has been a pleasure being on Danny's Staring Down the Darkness. Basically what I say, if you look at the Albert Family Channel, there's a certain way that I gotta end it. And that is, it's been a pleasure being with you guys.